Hello, Internet. My name is Roro, and welcome to my channel. I hope everyone's having a good day. Today, I wanted to talk about something that I actually got from a meme. It's a quote from Andy from the show Parks and Recreation, and somebody asks, Andy, are you okay? And his response is, oh, I'm fine. It's just that life is pointless and nothing matters, and I'm always tired. Also, I can't sleep, I'm overeating, none of my old hobbies interest me. And for anyone who hasn't seen the show, Andy is like a very happy, upbeat character. So this sort of like dark tone is not common for him to portray. So that makes it hit a little bit harder when you're watching the show as well. And for this video, I want to focus on the part where he says, nothing matters and I'm always tired, because I think that is the most broad thing he says and it kind of covers everything else. And I also think the reason that this meme is like gaining some traction is because it's funny, but also because it's relatable, and I think that's the part specifically that people can relate with. So let's get into this. Let's start with nothing matters. This is a phrase that's used by lots of different types of people and is associated with different ways of thinking, but usually it's associated with nihilism, and even nihilism is interpreted in many different ways. And I'm honestly not educated enough in that regard to get into it specifically, but I think that you can pretty much interpret this term in two different ways. You can either interpret it as nothing matters and it's a bad thing, or nothing matters and it's a good thing. Basically, nothing matters, sad face, or nothing matters, smiley face. And for whatever reason, this phrase is usually immediately perceived as being something negative and being like sad or not a good thing. And that's pretty much because of the belief that life in itself has inherent meaning, an inherent value, and an inherent purpose, which that may be the case. I don't know. But if it is the case, then that honestly is kind of worse, because that would mean that all of the bad things that happen in the world and happen to people, or, bad things that happen to good people, however you want to say it, that means that there's a reason that that's happening, which to me is, I think, why people feel so negatively about this idea, is because if something has inherent value and inherent meaning, but it's not going well, then you're going to question why it's happening. You're going to question if you're doing something wrong, or if something is wrong with you as to why that's happening and why you're feeling so bad about it. Or you're just going to question the fabric of the reality that you know or that you perceive as knowing. And you're going to be like, well, maybe this isn't what it was all cracked up to be. And again, I'm not claiming to have any answers. This is just my personal belief. But I personally believe that life does not have inherent meaning, and you are able to apply your own meaning to your life and to the world around you. And that's more so than nothing matters, but it's good, because that means all of the bad things that happen, there's no reason or specific purpose or meaning that they are happening. It's just what happens, nothing matters. So you don't have control of that necessarily. But what you do have control of is what you want to put meaning into, and what you believe is important, and the purposes that you believe are worth pursuing. And this is just a much healthier way to approach life in general, I believe, because not everything is 100% good or 100% bad. So if you're assigning a positive value to something that is predetermined, and then it ends up going really bad, then you're going to feel bad about that. But if you free your mind up to put meaning and purpose into things that you believe in and that you're passionate about and that you want to do, then you're going to feel a lot better about what you're doing in general, because you have more control. And also, when things do go bad and when things are perceived as negative, you're not going to feel as down about it, because you understand that there was no inherent reason for that to happen. It just happened. It's part of life. Energy is a neutral. And it's a little bit easier to rationalize within your own mind. And that's super important to me, because that's really one of the only things that you can try to control in life in general, is just how you perceive things, how you think about things, how you feel about things. Sometimes you can't even control your thoughts and your emotions, but you can at least view them and do your best to interpret them if that makes sense. So the other part of this is I'm always tired. I think at first people will perceive that as maybe they're working too hard at their job, they're putting in a lot of hours, they have a stressful life because of responsibilities, all different things, and you just physically don't have enough energy to get all the things done that you need to get done. And maybe you don't have enough time to get enough sleep because a lot of people in this modern time have very intense, stressful lifestyles. Even if you're just living a normal life, working a normal job, there's going to be aspects of your days that are very stressful and things that you have to do that you have to get through that maybe you don't want to do. And they can be very draining, especially when they're all stacked on top of each other. But also, a lot of stress comes from external stimulus. We live in very overstimulating times. People are constantly getting distracted and may not even realize it, but are getting drained of their life force and their energy. And it's taking away energy that they could be putting towards things that they would prefer to be doing without even realizing it, just because this is the world we live in. And we maybe don't have a full understanding of how this is really affecting us, like the internet and social media and all that kind of stuff. And of course, there's a desire and a need to sort of relax and let go. And I think a lot of people use the internet and social media as a way of doing that. But it's such a new thing that I don't know if we really understand how bad it could potentially negatively affect us on a regular basis. And I think that people spend a lot of time on the internet and a lot of time on social media. And yes, it can benefit you. It can help you grow in some ways. And it can help be a distraction and let you kind of blow off steam. But it also can be damaging you. You may not even realize it. So then where does that lead us? What is the solution? What is the answer of how to proceed knowing all of this? I think the first thing is just mindfulness. And I don't mean any sort of specific meditation practice or anything like that. Literally just being mindful, being consciously aware of things that you're doing, as small as they can be. The more mindful that you are, the more conscious awareness that you put into everything you do, the better you're going to feel. Because happiness is fleeting. Happiness is a feeling that comes and goes. So it's not really something that you can strive to achieve. But what you can try to achieve is feeling okay with what's happening in any given moment to some degree, at least accepting what's happening. And I know I say that perception is reality, but there is some sort of objectivity to life in a sense where things happen that you can't control. How you perceive them is up to you. And if you're out there and you're listening to this and you feel like nothing matters and you're always tired, just know that at least one other person feels the same way as you. But in reality, a lot of people feel that way. Even if they don't necessarily realize it, so many people are constantly drained and tired and don't know what to do. But that's okay because we are all in the same position in that regard. And if you believe that you can put your own meaning into your own pursuits and you can assign value to the things that happen in your life on your own terms and accept the things that you realize you don't have control over, that's going to be a great basis to anything in life, really. But especially just day by day living, getting through your days, I promise you it's going to help. And I'm not trying to change anybody's view or anything like that. As always, this channel is just me getting things out, sifting through ideas, trying to figure out what I think and what I feel. So even when I'm saying you, it's the proverbial you. You could honestly say I'm talking to myself, and it's reference for myself to listen to in the future, to learn from my own mind. But, I make these videos for myself, but then I release them for other people. So I genuinely do hope that you got something from this video that's positive and that you can apply to your life for the better. And it really means a lot if you listen and, check out other videos on this channel. I always talk about things sort of similar, just ideas that I have in my head that I feel like I need to figure out and kind of get out and view in a more objective way. And it's really been helpful and seems like it's been helpful to other people too. So that really means a lot. And I put a new video out every Sunday. So if you're interested and you're enjoying it, come back next week for a new one. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week.